Um, what about the fact that, so body workers tend to get worn out, right? I mean,
Totally.
that's the thing. I always worry about. I go get massages. I'm looking at my, I look at the person. I'm like, how you doing, sweetie? You start worrying about their pain. Does your method accommodate for that, or does your method have, self-regulated stuff, or?
Yeah, 100%. So interesting facts. In my entire career span, which is a long time, 33 years this year,
Mm.
thank you. The average lifespan of a massage therapist career is 4 to 6 years still. It was
Wow.
started and it still is. Though that average is an abomination. And
Mm.
in the yoga world, for those who are movement practitioners, I train both. An average career span of a yoga teacher never becomes full time.
Hmm. Never become full time.
They don't make enough money to work full time. They have to wait tables or
Oh,
have a second job, or they're also massage therapists and then they teach yoga at night and they're running around in a million
wow.
studios. Same thing for Pilates instructors, personal trainers, etc.
Hmm.
So there's, I obviously have, beat those statistics, and I did well before the method was formulated, and then clearly after that as well.
Hmm.
And I wasn't burning out. And so then it's also like sort of a lonely path. Like, well, then who else has been at it as long as me? And there's a handful of us for sure. Like, I've definitely connected with them. But I couldn't figure out exactly why the burnout was there, because again, I've been hungry and just became more insatiable the longer I was working with the body. So I didn't understand what the burnout was like, and I needed to really look at it. And a couple things. We're not taught any business in school. In fact, I'm an approved provider for continuing education, and I cannot offer CEs for any business training. Why? What the heck? How am I supposed to be a solopreneur if I don't actually know how to do that?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
We're meant to like run a business and be an entrepreneur, working service hours for dollars, and then no structure around that. What the
Yeah.
heck?
Yeah.
And with with the statistics in our industry, it feels like the industry should have picked up on that and like supporting us, because I've said this a lot, there's more people on the planet who need us as practitioners than there are those of us to serve. We need and deserve to be full time. So why was that happening? Some of it is we lack professionalism. We burn out because it's physically tiring. We doubt ourselves a lot because we are doing a little bit of Groundhog's Day. We're treating symptoms, and the client comes back the next week and they're like, well, I felt good for like 4 days, but that hip thing's back again. And then the practitioner starts to doubt themselves, and they're working really hard and they're kind of getting results, but they're not really sure how they're getting results. And they're just like physically fatiguing from that. And they're not clear how to make enough money either, because if they're working with people in service, that's during daylight hours, unless they're not being professional. And then how many hours is there to actually do that? So there's like a lot that goes into, I think, why both manual and movement practitioners don't make a thriving salary. And in my program, I offer professional development. And I also, interestingly enough, kept that on the down low for a while too, because I thought, well, no one's coming to me for business. They're coming to me to learn how to like actually resolve orthopedic issues. And just now I'm recognizing, oh, no, Gina, they'd actually really like it if you told them that you were going to help them recoup their tuition. And I say that from day one. This is high value. I want you to provide value, and I want to provide value for you. And you should be recouping your tuition for this program before you graduate.
Wow.
And you should do that with every training. I think every service provider should do that with every training. We're mandated CEs every year, but then we don't get a raise. Why? It's back to the business stuff again. I think you should be able to recoup your tuition on whatever you invest in.
Just gave me an idea. That's cool. Thank you.
Oh, good.
They're doing a certified step training soon, like step start. So I was just thinking that's interesting stuff. That's very interesting. And so that said, can a person then keep their body together? I mean, the business thing, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think I don't understand. I think I don't know. So surely, I mean, one of these schools, like, Paul Mitchell for hair, one of these schools, like would have thought that, trainer also had to like, balance the books, or, how to, sell shampoo. I mean, just anything else, like, but they don't. They just spit you out with the craft, and that's it. They stop there. I mean, my mom was all hair, so I know the hair stuff, but I'm not surprised. It's crazy that way. And my son went through it, actually. He, I already knew when he started it. He's like, Dad, I want to be a massage therapist. I'm like, this is going to cost me $20,000 and it's going to last 5 days. I know it.
Oh.
But I did it anyways. And I was right.
Oh, darn it.
He took all the classes. He loved being around the girls and, all this stuff. But then, when he got to like getting his hours in and all that stuff, he's like, it's a lot of work. I'm like, yes, it is. But I see it's a lot of work actually. I mean, and you're right. Is there a functioning formula in a sense of, as far as like the practitioner also putting on other skill sets that are not always working on the body 24/7, like adding more to the business component, or do you think let's put it this way, what's a healthy practitioner schedule? How many hours a week is that?
Oh, I think that's completely unique to the practitioner. Not all practitioners charge the same amount. Not all of them offer the same.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk in the massage therapy industry, for example, between those of us who do orthopedic work and those of us who do spa work, and why can't we all be the same, and should we share the same title, and isn't that confusing to the consumer? And yes, to all of that. So I think it's unique and individual, which again just stresses this idea that unless there's a business mind in addition to the skill, then how are you going to structure that? How are you going to structure that? I think, that's the step 11 of it. Like, how are you going to make this thing all come together?
Oh, you just made me feel good there. You're right. It's not there. There's no integrity. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about getting together for Night of Light and stuff like that. It's like, industry, we got to start talking. We can't just be this fringe stuff anymore, because even if we all agree to like what a base price would be, that would help everyone. You know what I mean? Like there are standards, right? And there's also like Disney and these big corporations are just hiring, I guess slave labor, slave massage labor, where people are just like massaging one vacationer after another, right? And that's that kind of distorts the whole field too in some regards, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's convoluted that way. I would think if I was in that practice, I would think that I would have to like, do readings, like kind of like go around the circle and give myself a break and have other 2 things I do or something just to keep myself rotating. I would think,
Yeah, again, I think there's a lot of freedom in it because you can create what you want, but you need to know how to create that. And or at least have a model of that. And with a wide spectrum in the industry, both manual and movement practitioners, there's so many options that I think we sometimes believe that the answer is outside of us. And so we should go look outside instead of knowing what that is inside. And then where's the balance in that? And none of that has to do with the body work, actually. A whole extra, sort of side consideration. So and I don't even think, so this is the other part that I do believe. I've taken a ton of business coaching because again, I recognize that there was this gap. My first business coach was $26,000 for the year.
Wow.
When I said that to massage therapists, they're like, you're insane. Am I? Because none of us got any business training. So what if that was just amortized over the length of time I've been in business? Then is it that expensive? I mean, and that's a business mind answering that question, right? So even the conversation was a little bit shy. But anyway, I remember the last business coach I worked with, not the first one. I remember her saying that she made, I think, 7 or 8 figures or something. And that's like great for her. Awesome. Not everybody aspires for that, but whether you do or don't, everybody aspires to thrive, not just be in survival all the freaking time. And what she said was, look, I could give you the exact blueprint, step by step by step, of everything that I do as a business coach that I used to build my business to this level. And you could also probably find some YouTube videos to confirm step by step by step exactly what I do. It's not a secret. She's like, but here's the question that I really want you to consider. Why is it, she said, that some of my clients have also doubled and tripled their income with that system, and some of them have not? What's the difference? If the strategy is there and it's clear and it's available, how come some people survive and some people thrive? Why? And I was like, well, I don't actually know the answer to that question. And what I realized was, she said, it's your mindset. It's your mindset. It's what you know. It's how you think about it. It's not, is there a standardized rate in the industry? It's how do you think about that standardized rate? If you're still squeamish about asking for what you're worth, and you still don't have a cancellation policy, and your client cancels again, and that's an hour of your time that you don't get paid for, and you're somehow not cool with that, that's a you thing. That's not an industry standard thing.
Yeah.